Hi guys, hope you're doing well. Today we'll see how to avoid lifting related injuries. I'm not going to tell you to not ego lift and to have a proper execution, you already know that, but we're going to see more precise tools. I'm going to use my experience as a lifter who lifts 5 days a week and as a physiotherapy student to give you the best tools to avoid lifting injuries, because getting injured is the worst thing that can happen to you. That being said, let's get straight to the point. The first rule is don't push it too far. If one day you're hitting chest and you're doing barbell bench press and you feel like your shoulder is hurting a little bit, just stop the lift. Don't go too far. Now I get it. David Goggins says you should train every single day no matter what. Andrew Tate mindset, discipline over motivation, all that stuff. I still believe to this day that it's the right mindset to have, right? But let's get real. If you push it too far, if you keep going, you continue working out while your elbow or your shoulder seriously hurts, then you're gonna get injured. So think about it. It's either you stop the lift and you don't take any risks, or you can train another muscle, you change the workout. Instead of hitting chest, you hit back or you hit legs, and this way you avoid lifting injuries. But don't think, well, it hurts, but David Goggins says you should train every single day no matter what, so I'm not a pussy, so I'm gonna train. Even if it's the right mindset to have, even if it's awesome to be disciplined, right? Congratulations, you don't want to get injured, because again, it's the worst thing that can happen to you as a lifter, as any kind of athlete. When you are injured, firstly, you can't train, which feels horrendously bad, and on top of that, you lose your gains, you lose your strength, you lose your muscle. So do everything that's possible to avoid injuries, and it goes by not pushing too far. The next rule is to have a proper warm-up. I'd say at least 80-90% of people in the gym, they are warming up like idiots, like for real. That is the most underrated rule. It's way better to warm up a bit too long than not long enough, right? Let's analyze the two situations. If your warm-up is a bit too long, the inconvenience is that it's gonna take a little more time, right? But at the same time, you seriously decrease the risk of getting injured. Whereas if your warm-up is not long enough, maybe it's gonna take 5 minutes less, but you severely increase the chances of getting injured. So of course you prefer the first option, the first situation. You want to do everything to avoid injuries. And the right warm-up, the proper warm-up is firstly joint warm-up. So if you're doing push day, you're gonna warm up your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists also. You're gonna move those joints in every possible direction, and then you're gonna warm up your muscles. And for muscles, very simple, you do warm-up sets. And you want to do at very least 2 warm-up sets before actually starting the workout. If you're doing barbell bench press again and your first set is going to be at 225, you don't want to go straight into 225, pretty obviously. So what you're going to do, you're going to do a first set just moving the weight with the empty bar, 20 repetitions just like that. Then you're going to put a plate each side, 135 for, 5-10 repetitions, whatever. Then you're going to add a 15-pound plate each side, a few repetitions, and then you're going to do 225. Again, at very least 2 warm-up sets before your actual first working set. The third rule is to get feedback. You want to get feedback. You want to self-analyze. And how can you do that? You can either record yourself while doing the exercises. So you put your phone, you record yourself. Afterwards, you watch yourself doing the exercises, or you can ask your buddy, your gym bro, please watch me as I do the exercise, just so I know if my execution is complete garbage or if it's legit. Or you can do the exercise in front of a mirror to really watch yourself during the exercise, during the set. It's crucial because sometimes we don't realize how we are doing the exercises. You think that you're doing an exercise the right way, but you aren't. And a simple rule of thumb to know if the exercise is done correctly or not is simply if the execution doesn't feel awkward, like you don't put your joints in a weird position, it doesn't hurt any joint, it doesn't hurt any muscle in a weird way. And secondly, if you're doing the exercises at the right tempo, at the right pace. You don't want to do a repetition that is a bit too fast. So the proper execution is not awkward, doesn't feel awkward for you and doesn't seem awkward, and it's also an execution that is not too fast. Now, the fourth rule is to apply progressive overload with always the smallest increment. If you can increase the weight by just 1 or 2 pounds, that's perfect. Go for it. Because the thing is, your joints, your tendons, your ligaments, your muscles, they aren't ready to add, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 pounds. There's some guys in the gym, 1 week they're doing 225, the next week they're doing 245. That's completely nonsense. Don't do that. Again, your joints, they're not going to be prepared. Always add the smallest increment possible. If you can go from 225 barbell bench press, you want to do 8 repetitions, you do the 8 repetitions. The next week, if you can add just 1 pound each side so that it makes 227, that's perfect. Always the smallest increment to ensure not getting injured. Now, the next advice is to implement some prevention exercises into your routine. At the end of your workout, you can implement mobility exercises for your shoulders, for example, for your knees, for your hips, and you can add some reinforcement exercises for tiny muscles that can hurt. For example, for your shoulders, 90% of the time when shoulders hurt is because of rotator cuff muscles, which are tiny muscles involved in the stabilization of your shoulder. So you reinforce those muscles by doing external rotations, that thing, or internal rotation, that movement. It's better to do more external rotation because usually external rotators are weaker than internal rotators. So at the end of your workout, you can add just 2-3 sets. You don't need to go to failure of external rotations for rotator cuff muscles, a bit of mobility exercises for shoulders, for knees, for whatever joint you want. And it takes only 3 to 5 minutes, and that's it. So finally, to recap the pieces of advice I gave you today, firstly, you don't want to push too far if your joint, your muscle hurts. Stop the workout or train another muscle instead. You want to warm up properly, warm up your joints with mobility exercises and warm-up sets for your muscles. You also need to get feedback. You want to apply progressive overload with the smallest increment and also implement prevention exercises into your routine at the end of your workouts. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope it's going to help you. If it did, you can leave a like, subscribe to my channel as well, leave me a comment, let me know if you enjoyed this one, if you want more videos like that, and let's see you next time.